What's good, YouTube? It's jazzlovesmma here, and I'm going to be doing my full card predictions and breakdowns for UFC Fight Night Apex. Mateusz Gamrot versus Quillan Salkilld. Starting with the first fight of the card, Juliana Miller versus Ravina Oliveira. Oliveira coming off a 2-fight losing streak. She got finished by Stephanie Luciano by submission. Made it to the third round. Like Stephanie Luciano's last opponent, and then she got killed by Dair. I really do forget her first name. Let's see. God, the records on these two women is really awful. Chanel Dair, and she even missed weight for that. And even before she has had a win in the UFC, she's actually on a 3-fight losing streak. Lost to the Bow in 2024. Juliana Miller coming off a loss to Carly Judice, which I thought she was gonna get brutally finished in that really easily. She did. She was able to be tough. I think she out-grappled Carly Judice maybe in moments. And before that, she had gone to win via the grappling. And I'm just going to pick her here because Ravina Oliveira hasn't had a lick of success. Even in her fights against Luciano, she survived, but she still got really beat badly. In her fight against Dair, she was just getting beat up, but she also missed weight for that. So, interesting to see what happens in this fight. Yeah, I think Juliana Miller could win a decision. Maybe she'll get a sub. I hate this fight. It's slop. This whole card is slop. That's what this whole card is. Moving on, immediately moving on. Miles Johnson versus Jesse Rosas. Jesse Rosas is the brother of Raul Rosas Jr. Miles John is a not veteran, but not long time, but like someone who's been in the outside rankings for a bit. Hasn't had success. I think he's on a 2-fight losing streak. Split with Gene Matsumoto. I don't know how it was a split decision, but he made it very close. John Matsumoto does make it close for everyone though. And then Daniel Marco subbed him by a gilly in the second round. It might have been the first, like the end of the first or something, but I think it was the second. I think I'm gonna go with Miles Johns here. He's decent. I'm worried though. I don't know. I really don't care. This card sucks. But Jesse Rosas, I think he's literally only getting this spot because it's an Apex card. They need to fill the fight out. And they're like, Raw Rosas Jr. We can get his brother. There can be some promo. I haven't seen a single thing of promo for this fight at all. So they're obviously just signing this kid for no reason. And he's probably going to lose a 29-28 decision. And Miles Johns is going to succeed and kill prospects or something. Moving on to Manuel Sosa versus Richie Miranda. Manuel Sosa coming off his UFC debut. Knocked out Blachowicz in the third round. Very impressive win. Richie Miranda, a highly touted, I think, LFA fighter. Just outside the UFC, yeah, LFA. He's on a big win streak. Hasn't lost since 2023. It was a split decision. Has some decent wins under his book. But I'm gonna pick Manuel Sosa via KO. I think it's gonna be very tough for him. I just didn't do tape for this, but Sosa is he's really powerful. He KO'd Rufy as well, and I rate Blachowicz. Blachowicz hasn't had the success in the UFC that like maybe he should, but he's been fighting nothing but killers. Like the people he's lost to, Souza, Mason Jones is on a fucking crazy run. Chris Duncan, he was on his crazy run when he beat Blachowicz. And Blachowicz is just a dumb fighter sometimes. And even then, like, he was still having really bad, tricky moments against Sosa. Because he just hits so hard. And, like, he can bring into the later rounds as well. And that's how he's won his last 2 by round 3 KO. So, I am going to pick him here. I think he's going to have the experience edge. And I just don't think this is a good debut for Richie Miranda. Maybe he upsets it. Maybe brings him some grappling. I think that's what Blachowicz was having success with against Sosa. So, it'll be interesting. Louis Sutherland versus Jose Montana da Silva. Oh my days. Louis Sutherland. Dude, his tits are just fucking pointing out, man. It's fucking, he's so fat. I'm sure, dude. Who is this dude, man? Just who is this dude? Jose Mutana da Silva? Just who is he? This card fucking sucks. Luis Edmonds gonna win. Out grappling Tuivasa for 3 rounds is decently impressive. He was doing good against Perisic until he fucking got cracked and he got sunk into the ground. And I think he fought dumb as fuck in that fight too. Who did he fight his debut? Walter Walker's not a bad loss. Like, his losses aren't bad. He just really isn't that person. He also shattered fucking Walter Walker's leg in their fight, so he's good. He's not good, but he's not fighting someone good. Jose Montana, he has 1 loss. I'm looking at his topology. I looked at these fights a while ago, but he can lose a decision, man. He has some submission ability, but I just don't think that's gonna be enough on your debut. Luis Silva has a decent enough chin, dude. I think he had a spinning elbow from Tuivasa straight on chin, and he was fine. So I think he'll be okay here. Like, I think the Tuivasa short notes, he really made sure to bring his A game. So I think he's gonna be on a roll now. Literally, I think he's gonna be on a roll, and he'll win this. I think by decision, but there's a chance he wins, like, by finish. But I do think he'll just smudge him, blob him to a 30-27. The year Nogueira versus Bruno Lopez. The year Nogueira had beat Tobias something. He fights next weekend. Meet him by decision. Before that, he was, I think, on a 2-fight losing streak. He had gotten sub by Salty Baldiev, and he had lost by but what was it? Not on Flu? No, it was Ezekiel choke. Yeah. It was before that he had lost to Brent Ribeiro by Kimura. Then he lost to Ronan Salty Baldiev, and then he beat Rafael Tobias. And I remember I picked Rafael Tobias in my prediction video, and I remember watching the fights. I remember being so disappointed. Bruno Lopez, I think he's on a KO losing streak. Jacoby, Navo, I think that's it, actually. I think he's only on a 2-fight KO loss streak. He had lost to... did he lose to Vitor Petrino at some point? I think he was on the Contender Series twice. No, he lost to Ribeiro on the Contender Series. That's a bad loss, man. Get chin in the first. So this is Ribeiro's son's fighting. Dude, then he beat some dude on the Contender Series. He beat Magomed. Dude, I was high on this guy too. Magomed Gazulislov. I remember this dude. He was a bit of a decision here about, like, he has such good kicks. I saw him on the Contender Series. I thought he was so good because he just beat up Jose Medina. This fight really sucks. I wanted to pick Bruno Lopez, but I think Nogueira will win. I don't know if he'll get a KO, because, like, even though Bruno Lopez is chinny, but, like, he survived decently well against Navajo. Dude, he took bad damage against Navajo. Nogueira should be able to dust him. He does have an issue where he continuously, like, he has a tick, like, kind of like how Diego Lopez has this one where he touches under the chin. He's just touching his eye. That could get him in trouble, but I think Bruno Lopez is gonna either get just out damaged to a decision. Oh, he was able to smudge. That's how he won against that Magomed dude. So maybe he just subs Nogueira. Does he even have subs? This fight sucks. He has 5. I just don't think he's gonna sub him. I just think he's gonna lose. He's a little too shady. And being flatlined by Jacoby in a round is pretty bad. I'm not saying that because he lost his side off, but, like, just in general, like, other people have been able to survive till, like, the later rounds at least with Jacoby. And if you're not, that means you are pretty bad. And that's like a level showing performance. So I'm gonna give it to Nogueira. I think he'll win like a damage where he just teams him up, and then they'll smudge against the fence, but he'll win based off the damage on Bruno Lopez. Moving on to the headline of the prelims, Steven Asplund versus Guilherme Pat coming off a brutal decision loss to Thomas Peterson, who is the training partner of Steven Asplund. And yeah, Pad beat some Fry Jr. dude before that. He's a karate striker, I guess. He fights with his hands down. He's very single shot dependent. Doesn't really string like combos together. He's pretty bad. Like he's pretty awful. Steven Esplin, high volume striker, boxer, puts on a pace. He has decent takedown defense. In his last fight where he lost a decision to Vitor Petrino, I did think he lost. I don't know. People were saying it was a robbery. Was it a split decision? I remember it being unanimous. Yeah, it was a unanimous decision. I thought it was like a clear win for Vitor Petrino. But Steve Aspel did make it tricky. I think he rocked Petrino really badly. He's going to beat up Gourmet Pat really badly as well. I think it's going to be really bad. Gourmet Pat fights with his hands down. Counter, tries like to wait and counter. And that could work because Vitor Petrino is like a lot of like Pereira bouncing and waiting. And when he got tired, Asplin just needed to pour it on. I think he needed to really badly pour it on against Vitor Petrino. And I think he could have won. He would just let Petrino land something big and then walk and be gassed. I don't think he's going to let that happen here. He's had a training partner train for this dude. He knows how to beat him. He has a good style to beat him as well. He showed great takedown defense and submission defense against Vitor Petrino. He even hurt him. So I think he's going to easily win this. Round 2 KO. I don't think he's not like a round 1 KO artist, but I think you like really 10-8 him in the first, and then round 2 he'll get the KO. TKO. Against the fence, maybe. Moving on to Billy Ray Goff versus Ty Miller. Billy Ray Goff is striker. We haven't seen him in ages, but he got gillied by Brahimaj in his last fight. Before that, he had lost to Trey Waters by a very close decision. I watched it and I rewatched it and I thought Billy Ray Goff just barely got it. I didn't really think he edged it, so I kind of thought it was a robbery. Ty Miller, a very good boxer. He showed some good spinning elbows in his last bout. He fought at the beginning of the year. Last time he fought, I wasn't even making videos. Oh, well, singles for Billy Ray Goff, but like this year, I feel like I was already making videos for this guy around this time. But he'd beat Adam Fugit, and that's not a good win. But really badly, just beat him up. He did get cut badly. And I am 50-50 in this fight, and I literally haven't thought about this matchup until right now. He's very young. He's very skilled. Did I expect him to KO Fugit? On his Contender Series fight, he fought Jimmy Drago. And he was beating him, but he didn't finish him. I was like really disappointed with him not just being able to get the finish. And I was kind of like, oh, well, Jimmy Drago's just tough, and that's what I left that fight with. But really, Billy Ray Goff, man, got badly gillied by fucking Brahimaj. But I rate Brahimaj. Like, Brahimaj is like really good. He made a tough fight of Soriano. Like, he's a borderline ranked material. I don't know. He's on 2-fight losing streak. It was actually a unanimous decision for Trey Waters, man. It's pretty bad. He does only have 1 win in the UFC, but I think he's pretty good. I think he'll mix it up. I think he'll be tricky. Do I just pick Billy Ray Goff? I think Ty Miller is like really clean boxing. He was like a Golden Globes like boxing champion or something at some point. I don't know. I don't know how much I rate Golden Globes at this point. Or what if Golden Gloves? Something like that. I don't know. Not Golden Globe. What am I talking about? This SLOP Apex card has me tweaking. I'm spending too much time on this card, but I'm gonna fence it this fight. But I think I'm gonna go Billy Ray Goff. Crafty decision. He's gonna take the L. Amanda Lemos versus Alexia Tainara. Amanda Lemos, a very powerful striker. It's for WMA. She hits pretty hard, but doesn't have pretty good grappling. I think she's on like a 2-fight losing streak where she's lost to Jillian Robertson, and she lost to somebody else. Tatiana Suarez, I think. She lost to Tatiana Suarez, and she might be on an even longer losing streak. I'm gonna check right now. She might have lost to Verona Robo before that. No, she beat Lucinda. Honestly, she out-grappled Lucinda. Before that, she had gotten subbed by Verona Robo. Alexia Danar is a really good grappler. Decently heavy hands. She has pretty good subs. I just think she's gonna win this. Like the Jillian Robertson, Amanda Lemos her last year. It's like it's ones where like you could argue off damage she won, but like she just did gets out grappled like pretty badly. And I think this will just be a 29-28. Maybe in the third round, Lemos like rocks Tainara, or maybe it's like round two, and then she ends up losing the third. I don't know, but she's gonna get out grappled here. Tainara's strong. Lemos is just getting older. How old is Lemos? Dude, she's 39. She's like pushing 40. I don't think she's gonna win this. Age, she's been in the UFC for what ages? I just don't think it's her time, man. Alexia Tainara was kind of decently impressed me in her last couple of performances. Even if she's not getting finishes, like her trips and her takedowns are just really nice. When I'm watching them, and I'm like, it's like a grappling that I can admire because it's good takedowns. Even though if it may lead to like smudge, the takedowns are just really nice. So I am gonna just pick Tainara decision. I don't think she'll get a submission over Lemos. If she does, I'll be impressed because that's like Vernon Jandaroba recently is the only one who's done that, and I've picked Jillian Robertson and Tatiana Suarez to win by sub when they have it. So maybe she's the one to do it, but I'm gonna pick her by decision. Darren Elkins versus Yair Devaya. Wow, is this the featured fight? Okay, thank God. I don't want to talk about this card anymore. Darren Elkins, I think he's only on a one fight losing. He's only coming off a loss. I think he was on a win. Dude, he was on a win streak before that. Wow. I remember he had arguably robbed Daniel Pineda in like a back and forth brawl. Um, he's a slugger, and then he got fucking slow mo KO'd by Julian Erosa, who's like fighting underwater. Yadir Devaya was on a little bit of a, I think he was undefeated coming to the UFC. He was, yeah, and then he fought Jordan Levitt, and Jordan Levitt danced and pranced around him and out grappled him. Darren Elkins is old, and he's taking like pretty bad damage. I think he's 40 something maybe. He looks 50. He's 42. He's really old. He's really old. He's taken so much damage. You shouldn't be getting KO'd by Julian Erosa like that. If he had gotten submitted, I'd maybe understand the loss more. I picked Julian Erosa by finishing that fight too. Julian Erosa was just fighting in slow motion. He was like really badly hurting Elkins. Do I rate Yadir Devaya? Not really. The Jordan Levitt loss was pretty bad. Just the way he went about as well. He couldn't cut off the cage. His striking is very limited. He fights very stiff. Maybe I have a feeling maybe he's not like a natural southpaw due to how stiff he fights. But I'm gonna pick him here by submission. Like he can. Maybe he'll get the KO. I remember in his Contender Series fight, he was able to pour it on to that Brazilian dude, and the Brazilian dude was actually just too tough to go cold and make the choice. Surprising. But what was my point? Yadir Devay would end up looking for a guillotine or something. Or maybe he doesn't get a submission. Maybe I'm thinking that Yadir's gonna want to go out here and like get a takedown or something and try to sub him. But he probably just goes out there and KOs him. Because like if it like now I'm thinking about it, Roast didn't even try to looking for subs. He just like really easily just slowly plodding his way beat Elkins, and I think Yadir Devay will just do something similar. Even if I don't rate Yadir, even though if I don't like necessarily rate Devay, he should beat Elkins. Elkins is old and his wins are worse than Yadir. I hate this guy's name, bro. Fuck. But I'm almost Cuba. I do think he could sub him though. I think he can go out there, either rock Elkins badly and find a sub. But you couldn't really. He just took down Connor Matt. I'm thinking about the Connor Matthews win, and then Isaac Dogarian. He was on a 2-fight sub streak. Both by rear naked, I think, and then Jordan Levitt comes, he just out grapples him. Gadia doesn't really have any jiu-jitsu off his back, or he can't really any necessarily good takedown defense. But Elkins isn't good. He's old. He's lumbering. He's not gonna get takedowns on Nedvaya. And maybe if he does shoot, he'll probably get gilly because Nedvaya has a really nasty guillotine. So I'm gonna go Nedvaya by finish first round. Diego Ferrer versus Billy Cantero. Billy Q coming off, I think, a losing streak. Maybe I remember his last fight was Cub Swanson. He got KO'd in the third after having a pretty decent performance. Before that, he got sub by Yusuf Zalal. He actually has a win over Damon Blackshear 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Oh, shit. Diego Ferrer, I think, only on a 2-fight losing streak. He had lost to in his last fight, and Alexander Hernandez KO'd him in the second round. That was a pretty bad KO. And then before that, he might have lost to Grant Dawson by decision. But he has a win over Rebecca. And he looked decent against Alexander Hernandez until the KO. He was kind of out tit-for-tatting him. And I don't know if Billy Q is really that good. I don't know if I'm going to rate him on the, he took brutal damage against Cub Swanson, who eventually retired. I'm going to pick Ferrer by rounds 2 or 3 KO. I think it might be a scrap. Both these dudes are really old. How old are these two guys? I think Diego Ferrer is 40-something. 41. How old is Billy Quillan? I think he's only 39. 37. Okay, he's even younger. But he's taking some bad damage as well. Both have 7 losses. I'm going to pick Diego Ferrer here by KO, yeah. I just don't know if Quintel is good enough. He might make it a scrap out of it, but I don't know if he is moving up. So maybe he has some lighter man skill, but I don't know if he's going to move up and just bring the power that a tank like Alexander Hernandez has. I don't think he's going to have the wrestling that Grant Dawson has. And I could just see Diego Ferrer eventually getting a KO, similar to the Cub Swanson one. Or maybe he eventually gets a takedown and lands a brutal ground and pound. But yeah, I'm going to go Diego Ferrer. Moving on to the main event, Gamrot versus Salkilld. Gamrot, I think, coming off only one win, he beat Esteban Ribovics. Why did they pick Ribovics? I remember, I convinced myself he would get that for no reason. Quillan Salkilld coming off a really good win streak in the UFC. Who has he beat? He beat Dariush in his last bout by first round KO. And I'm really conflicted on this main event. I watched some tape today. I watched Salkilld versus Ashmuz. Watched Salkilld versus what's his face? Dariush. And I watched Gamrot versus Hooker because I thought Hooker was most similar to the build of a Salkilld. I think I'm gonna go Gamrot decision. I think Salkilld may have to win by early rounds KO, and I don't know if he'll be able to do that. Gamrot is susceptible in the first round to getting dropped. I think almost everyone has, other than Ludwig Klein and Esteban Ribovics. Hooker dropped him. People, it's a really close fight. As Gamrot versus Hooker, but damage-wise, I really do think Hooker could win that. I feel like a lot of people complain about the decision, but it was really close. I thought Hooker just did more work in the first, near the end of the round. Gamrot was landing well, but he did drop him with that double jab or whatever, or the double punch, where he just went like this and he knocked him down. But he got hurt, and he got who got closer to finishing the fight, Hooker or Gamrot? And I'd say Hooker got closer to getting the finish. And he was pressuring him bad near the into the last 2 minutes or something like that. There's a lot Salkilld could do here. I can see the kicks for Salkilld being very good. The body kicks, especially because Gamrot will go southpaw a lot. He likes to counter off with the right hook in southpaw, or the right hand in general. You look for the counter right hand or the top with a little shovel uppercut. That'll leave him open for the kicks of Salkilld. Hooker was doing well, looking for the front kick. Salkilld has very nasty kicks. Trying to get hacked across, especially the head kick. Gamrot can go out there and try to catch the kicks though. That's what he was doing against Hooker. Hooker would throw a kick. Gamrot would eventually snatch up the leg. He would press Hooker to the fence and then start the grappling exchange there. The right hands of Gamrot are very nice. I like his back. He is very underrated boxing. I will say that. I think Gamrot's boxing is incredibly underrated, and like he was outworking Charles Oliveira on the back foot. Max Holloway literally had zero success. I forgot who said on Twitter, but somebody had said that Gamrot was actually did better against Charles, even though he got finished, even though he got subbed in the fight. He actually just did better, and I agree with that. He does well with the back foot. Salkilld. I feel like a lot of people are picking Gamrot, especially based off the Dariush fight. He threw the southpaw high kick, and then like the grazing. He throws the high kick, and then he slaps a punch behind it, and it maybe catches Salkilld off guard and knocks him down. But what I'm looking at is he's getting stuck on the fence against Dariush. He has very good balance, like against Hashimoto's. He is able to keep himself up, even against Jamie Mullarkey, who's not that good. Like, he would get taken down, but he's able to reverse it. So that is good stuff from him in the grappling. Not sure if my camera's maybe a little too high. There we go. No, that didn't do anything. I don't know, I'm just so torn. I can see so many things happening. Salkilld can throw hooks around the guard and really mess up Gamrot. If he rips to the body, I think that will be very good for him as well, especially in this 5-rounder. Try to wear on Gamrot early. Look for hooks to the body. But he gets like really stuck in like grappling exchanges sometimes. If Dariush had him like breaking away from the clinch and then try to start brawling, Gamrot, like Salkilld, probably stays in that grappling exchange. At Shmooze, he just exchanging grappling exchanges, even if it's not helping him. He has very good slams, though. I will give that to Salkilld. He has very good slams, like off his own offense and his takedowns. His slams are very nice. I think Gamrot's just gonna be able to do some better work off the back foot with his like very underrated boxing. He was tagging up Hooker bad. Like, he was swelling up his face in the first round. So I can see the argument for giving Gamrot the first and the second, but I do think he won the third and the first off damage. I don't even know. Maybe I'm scoring it wrong. But yeah, Gamrot's so good in transitions. He'll go to side control. And I think this is the best grappler Salkilld will have fought other than Dariush. And unlike Dariush, Gamrot's chin just isn't gone. If it was gone, I feel like Ludwig Klein would have knocked him down or something, or would have had a wobble. He stung with like a jab or something. Rupovic maybe would have had like a moment where he like nearly wobbled Gamrot. But Gamrot's not that chinny. And I really like those two performances from Gamrot. Even the Charles Oliveira one. Is Salkilld as good of a grappler as Charles Oliveira? Does he have as good jiu-jitsu? I don't necessarily think so. Maybe we've said this about Padiel. Does he have as good as jiu-jitsu as Charles Oliveira? He's not going to finish Chandler or whatever. And then he does, but... Or like his grappling. But... That was even on short notice, and like Gamrot was still doing good. Even though he like technically got dominated with how dominant the grappling and like Charles, like Gamrot didn't have success in the grappling. He was still doing well. He just eventually got face cranked, and there was a high pressure moment. He ran to the cage. It looked like the adrenaline was getting to him. It was a big moment in Brazil. Short notice for him. I think he'll just win this. I like the performances he's had. He's able to do well. I'm worried. I don't know how this is going to go in the later rounds. But Gamrot, especially if Salkild's pressing and he's looking for the body shots and stuff, I can see him breaking Gamrot, getting maybe like a 3rd round KO here. But I definitely think he'll knock down Gamrot or hurt him, wobble him or something. Because I do think he has the skills to be able to like rip to the body and like catch him with a hook upstairs. It's a good fadeaway uppercut as well with the lead. But with the right hands over the top can be there. He likes to aura form. Like he'll get hit and then he'll like stick his tongue out, then he'll get hit again. And Gamrot will be there. Like Hooker would try to like he got stung and then he looked at him, looked at Gamrot, and Gamrot just kept going forward. He is very crispy 1-2s and 1-2-1s. His straight's very nice. That's something I've really analyzed. But I'm worried because the body kicks right there. And in this 5-rounder, is Gamrot gonna slow down to the kicks? He said he's not gonna lose with Poirier in the area, and Poirier is gonna be in the analyst desk. So maybe that's some extra motivation. Gamrot trains with a good team, but so does Salkilld. And Salkilld has that Gamrot performance to look at and be like, I can maybe finish this guy or win a damage-based decision. But I can see Gamrot winning. I just see Gamrot winning. Outpointing Salkilld. I'm so worried. I don't know. I really. Salkilld could win. I'm just thinking about the kicks and the body work. But Salkilld himself, like he tries going for these. I can see him going for these big explosive moments early, trying like him wanting to grapple with Gamrot, and then he eventually gets himself out going for big slams and big tosses, like the big hip tosses, and then tries to pick up Gamrot on his shoulder and he's just gassing himself out, similar to like maybe like a Loner Kavanaugh. Not a good example because Salkilld doesn't gas out that badly with like the big grappling exchanges. But I can see him wearing himself out and then Gamrot winning later rounds. I keep even seeing maybe a late finish from Gamrot. I think it's really early finish for Salkilld, late finish for Gamrot, and then it could be a decision either way. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to lean Gamrot. I think his boxing is good enough. He can shoot up the lead leg as well. The lead leg will be there for Gamrot. Salkilld is kind of heavy on it. He does good work off in Southpaw and Orthodox. I think that's going to really mess up for Salkilld. Salkilld is fine with like switching stance he was doing against Shmouz, and then he was finding the open stance body kick. So maybe that's something he's going to try to do here, just look for the open stance body kick. But that may eventually just leave him to getting taken down. Sometimes he shoots bad shots, and Gamrot could find the back and then reverse him and then get some control, and then he'll look for crazy ground pound, even if it's not landing. He did against Stricker. Even if it's not landing clean, he'll land it around the guard and stuff, or on the guard, and then through the middle and around the guard, on the guard again, and through the middle and around the guard, bang bang. Like he has sneaky damaging shots as well. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Gamrot, but like the crafty decision. It is close. I'm not gonna be surprised at all if Salkilld wins. But yeah, this is my prediction video for UFC Fight Night Apex, Gamrot versus Salkilld. Let me know what your guys' predictions in the comments below. Who do you guys think is the main event? I think it's a really good main event. I'm very 50-50 on it as well. I think main events like this add on, and not just main events like Dricus versus Usman, where I thought it was obvious Usman or that was obvious Dricus would win, but it's big names, so it's a good main event. This is like two decently good sized names. It's a very close fight. Maybe Salkilld just goes out there and proves me wrong, makes it look easy against Gamrot. But I just think getting stuck against, he has a good balance. So maybe that's what will allow him to separate. Even Hooker was able to do it. Maybe he's going to look for Gillies to like make Gamrot roll and then he'll get on top or something. But Gamrot has a good scramble ability. So I think he'll be fine. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this video. Follow me on Twitter, jazzlovesmma. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. I'm going to make a video about these awful fight nights and these awful cards that the UFC has been giving us these past 2 weeks. Even though Dricus versus Usman, I think, was like a very good card, it was pretty slop filled. Last weekend, it wasn't the most exciting and it was pretty slop. This one's fucking awful. Like, I really just had no energy for this card, like I do in my other prediction. Even the main event, like the card was so bad, I don't even care about the main event that much. And then next weekend, I need to complain about the next weekend card, even though I already did. I'm gonna do it again. So catch you guys in those videos. Peace.